Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Laurie from The Places Laurie Goes, and today I'm gonna talk about planning my next location, Vietnam. So here's how I plan the next location in my digital nomad travels. There's honestly quite a bit of research that goes into moving to a new country, even if it's just for a few weeks or a little longer, like a few months. There are visa requirements and COVID restrictions to take into consideration. There are plane tickets and accommodations to be booked, and the very important research of the specific city or cities that I want to live in. So the first thing is how long I'm staying for in the country. So like I mentioned earlier, the next country I'm going to be living in is Vietnam. Specifically the cities of Da Nang and Ho Chi Minh City. And I plan on staying around 1 month in each city for a total of 2 months in Vietnam. And you're probably wondering, how did I decide on those cities? Well, it's the second thing I normally do is I research cities to live in. So the first research I did was to learn what Vietnamese cities were popular with digital nomads. Whether because there's an expat community living there, because the cost of living is pretty low, or because other digital nomads have recommended it for short-term living. Based on that research, I wanted to live in beautiful Da Nang because it's a city by the beach, and I mean, if you know anything about me, it's that I love the beach. And it also has a lot of interesting things to do close by, like the famous hand bridge called Golden Bridge in Bana Hills, the nearby UNESCO World Heritage Site city of Hoi An, and a legit fire-breathing dragon bridge, which I thought was really freaking cool. The other city I want to live in is Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon, which was also very highly recommended by other digital nomads. Here, I want to visit a few museums and temples, and honestly just live in the bustle and hustle of such a big city. Oh, and I also booked a 2-week tour with feel-free travel that starts in the north in Hanoi and ends in Ho Chi Minh City, which is the south, to be able to see even more of this beautiful country, and then after that, stay in Ho Chi Minh City exploring even more. I'll actually leave a link in the description below for you to check out the same 2-week trip that I'm gonna go on, and you can book one for yourself. But just so you know, they also offer like other countries and different lengths of tours, so there's an option for everybody. And the best part is that their trips are super affordable. Trust me, I've been researching through a lot of them, and this one was one of the best priced ones. But moving on, the third thing I usually do is I research visa requirements in the country I want to live in. Visa requirements are always a very important part of my research. Some countries don't require visas for US citizens for tourist visits for up to 30, 60, or 90 days. But in the case of Vietnam, you do need a visa just to enter as an American, no matter how long you're staying for. Vietnam offers, or technically used to offer, 1 month, 3 months, and 1 year visas. But because of COVID, only the 1 month visa is available to apply for US citizens. Due to this, instead of staying in Vietnam the 2 months straight that I had planned, I have to leave the country after 30 days and then return again for another 30 days. This is what people or other digital nomads refer to as a visa run. And my plan is to travel to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia for a week for my visa run before returning to Vietnam for my 2nd month living here. Or yeah, I'm already here. It's definitely an added cost to my plans, but I get to visit another country that was on my bucket list for a few days, so I take it as an opportunity to, just explore new places. And Malaysia doesn't require a visa for up to 90 days for US citizens. So at least I don't have to worry about that. Speaking of applying for a 1-month visa to enter Vietnam, I'm gonna include a link in the description below with all the important information about how to apply for the visa yourself. This link is gonna give you info on what to expect, how much it costs, which when I applied was $25 US, and even a full list of all the info you need to fill out in the application. So it's very useful, it's very thorough, so definitely click through that link to learn more about applying for a Vietnam visa. The next research I normally do is research the COVID restrictions. COVID restrictions can change from one day to another and it's different in every country, so it's very important to keep up to date with this information. As of this recording in July 2022, Vietnam doesn't have an entry COVID requirement. But once in Vietnam, you still have to follow normal COVID regulations like social distancing, wearing a mask, although not a lot of people are wearing it, but I know it's a requirement anyways, and sanitizing your hands. You also have to have medical travel insurance covering COVID-19 treatment with a minimum coverage of $10,000 US. So keep that in mind. And actually, I'll also add a link with more up-to-date info on COVID restrictions and requirements in the description below. So the next thing I normally do when I plan the next location I'm gonna live in is booking flights. Now that I know that I can only stay in Vietnam for 30 days at a time, I needed to plan my flights accordingly. I usually try to book my departing flight 29 days after I arrive in the country if the visa is valid for 30 days. I do this to give myself some cushion a little bit in case something happens with my departing flight. Like let's say it gets canceled and then I can leave until the next day because there's no more flights that day or something like that. That way the next day is still within my visa time, my valid visa time, and I'm not overstaying it because that's a fear of mine. I also highly recommend having your departing flight booked before arriving in the country. I don't know how it works for every country, but some may ask to see proof of your departure before your visa is set to expire. And you don't want to get caught without one or have to book one like maybe probably overpriced flight like right there and then. So I always recommend having one just in case. And you have to still leave the country, so you have to have it anyways. Oh, also the Vietnam visa application asks for which airport you plan to depart from, and once you set it, you cannot change it later. So as fun as being spontaneous can be, maybe that's one thing you should just know beforehand, and just save yourself the headache. Next thing I normally do is I book accommodations. Of course, I gotta stay somewhere. My favorite site to book long-term accommodations is Airbnb. It's where I usually find the best prices and the best options based on my travel style. I'm not into hostels, and although hotel rooms are fine with me, I tend to go for more like homey places. As you can see, I got like a couch in this one and actually a washing machine on this one as well. Some of my requirements when booking a long-term accommodations are they need to be under $400 for a monthly stay, that has AC and a mini fridge, Wi-Fi of course, ideally it has a kitchen or kitchenette, and bonus points if it has a pool. I also search for places close to the city center where there are a lot of restaurants and things to do, or near a beach if there's one in that city, which there is in Da Nang, and I live 5 minutes away from the beach and I'm really excited about that. And I try to book this accommodation at least 7 to 10 days before arriving in the city, sometimes even farther in advance. I feel like this gives me enough time within the month before to see my options and wait for possible new rooms or places to become available, but also that way I get to book my favorite one before it gets taken or before I start stressing about it, which I normally do. Other things to consider when moving to a new country would be apart from like everything I mentioned already, I also do plenty of research on things to do in each city and nearby areas, which areas within the city are more popular with digital nomads, and what dishes or restaurants are worth trying in that area. That's always a good starting point. I also researched how's the public transportation, what's the currency and language, of course, and things not to do, either to not offend the culture or to stay safe from scams or crime. So don't bypass that kind of research. It's always important to know at least a little bit. Okay guys, well, I hope this video is useful to you when planning your next long-term travel destination, whether it's to Vietnam or somewhere else. And I hope you also learned what goes into my process to plan my next location. Thank you so much for watching. Like always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more digital nomad lifestyle and budget-friendly travel content. Thanks again for watching, and see you on the next one.